You're listening to episode number 46 of the REIA Masterclass podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian Trippe. I'm here in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. So glad you decided to join us today. We've got a phenomenal guest via Skype we're going to get to in just 1 second. Just want to make a couple of announcements. Guys, we had a tremendous workshop a few weeks back. The next one is not until March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You can go to alareaworkshop.com right now. The link is up if you want to go ahead and register. You can get the early bird price right now, alareaworkshop.com, ALA REIA. Our next meeting is not going to be until December. I think it's the 14th. We're always the second Thursday of every month. So come on out to the Embassy Suites Hotel. We got a phenomenal time. It's going to be kind of the end of the year Christmas party thing. We've got a lot of really cool things planned for you guys. We're going to give away a lot of prizes and stuff. So you don't want to miss that. Second Thursday in December. I think it's December 14th, 6 p.m. Embassy Suites Hotel, Homewood, Alabama. I want to jump right into talking to our guest, Mr. Justin Wilmot. How's it going today, Justin?
It's doing good, my friend. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I have a feeling I'm not doing as good as you are. You got the surfing posters behind you. You're kind of known as the virtual wholesaler. You at least have it out there. The perception out there is that you're surfing every day and hanging out and just working a few hours a week in the business.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Yeah, man. Well, look, it was inspired from having that life, and I'm now I just had my third child, my third kid.
Wow. Congrats.
So, yeah, man. So, look, people evolve, and that was all I wanted to do was make as much money and work as little as possible, and I accomplished that. So for a long time, I did just that, and then I built the product, the 10-Hour Wholesaler, to teach people how to do that.
So, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and well, I'm just giving you a quick backstory if that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And then, dude, just over time, man, or actually we'll go into details, but just to sum that up, over time I wanted the office, I wanted the staff, and I wanted to do big things. Developing is a big passion of mine. So
let's talk about that. I got that as a note. Let's talk about that in a second. Let's first talk about the 10-Hour Wholesaler. What that sounds like a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the 10-Hour Wholesaler is a really basic and simple concept to profit, particularly in this real estate market, but to thrive in a down market.
How so? So the down market? Well,
in a down market, first let's just talk about what it is. It's simply joint venturing with other wholesalers. So we came up with this term OPI, other people's inventory. So it's where it came. Actually, you run a local real estate investors association, right? That's what you are.
Yep.
So this product, the 10-Hour Wholesaler, and the business model that came after that was inspired from me running my local REIA. So you know how it is, right? You get a lot of people that come to your space and people that are new and they want to learn. And also you get seasoned guys. And I had the seasoned guy who put a property under contract and didn't want it. And he didn't know what to do. He just wanted to bail. It brought to me and I looked at the deal and I said, man, yeah, that's a heck of a deal. And he goes, well, I understand this wholesaling thing. I said, let me take care of it. Let's partner up. Put me on the purchase contract and I'll get the deal done. The rest is history, man. I had that property sold in literally 25 minutes, 2 or 3 text messages. We split up $8,000 or $10,000, and it was just like a light bulb. It was wait a minute.
So that was the beginning of the 10-Hour Wholesaler. You're really just a matchmaker. You're putting the pieces together?
In essence, yeah, you could call it that for sure. Yeah.
So it's not your inventory. So that means you're not going out on appointments. You're not talking to sellers. You don't have any of that. You don't have to do all the marketing.
No, they're doing all the hard work.
Your marketing is trying to find the wholesalers.
Right. So what we become in this model is a relationship builder.
That sounds like you could set up an eHarmony for real estate investors.
That's a good idea, man.
There it is.
That's a good idea. I should write that down.
Yeah, there it is, man. That's funny. So I bought into that. It wasn't that much, and awesome. I bought it, and I listened to it. A lot of really good ideas, and I like to take little nuggets here and there. Yeah. For me, it wasn't. I couldn't make it work. Mm-hmm. Tell me why. And I'm a successful wholesaler. We're doing tons and tons of deals. Why do you think? What's the most common reason people tell you why they can't make it work?
Okay, two reasons. So, and it's two different types of people. So one, the new person who's never flipped a deal before, and then you, the seasoned investor who's successful and has done deals and currently doing deals. Anybody that on those two, so first I'll start with the new person. The new person truly, honestly can't wrap their mind around how that authentically works, and the message of how you can joint venture nationwide, all from where you are. I found for some people that just it's overwhelming, and they get like a kid in a candy store and they just want to pick any market. So even the smallest things of just narrowing down one simple market, you got to take that honest, And so that's a piece of advice that if anybody that is a current 10-hour wholesaler member or is interested in joining and seeing what it's all about and how we leverage OPI, really just first understand that you got to just start like anything in life. It's a real business, and just start step by step, one step at a time. And that starts with picking your market. So like that was a legit, it sounds very basic and elementary, but man, that was a real problem for some people, right? Because the premise is you can do this from anywhere. Like I flip more houses, or, I have some of my best months when I'm abroad. Like we make our most money when I'm gone out of the office.
No, I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah. So, so that was, and then for the seasoned guy, the problem, my opinion, right, is that you guys are, and we all, because I had to do this, you're too busy with what you're doing because it works, and it's because it's kind of how you're set up. So what that means is, for me, I stopped my current real estate investing business. I had like 3 renovations going on. I had a couple wholesale deals, and I literally stopped for 2 weeks, Brian. Like nobody could call me. Nobody could contact me, except obviously my wife. And I built this business, and I just wrote down the simple things that I know that I needed. I picked a couple markets. I reached out to other wholesalers in those markets, and I said, and I gave them a very specific email address, and I just did the things. I built the business and stopped my current business. Now that doesn't mean like everything went to heck in a handbag, but that's what I did. That was my secret.
Give me, without giving away the entire program, give me kind of step-by-step instruction. What would be step one if I were to do something like this and be successful?
And be successful, definitely pick a market. And you can do this in any market.
Why is that so hard to pick a market?
That's a great question, Brian.
Because you got done saying a second ago that a lot of times, we become kid in a candy store kind of thing. We could go anywhere. Do you think I didn't, and listen, 100% being honest, I didn't give it everything I had, because I had all this other stuff going on too. I was just trying to take some of the principles and apply it to what I was doing already, and that might have been my reason why I didn't become super, super successful with it.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate the honesty. At the end of the day, especially when you're seasoned and you're busy, man. We're talking. We're negotiating deals. We're putting deals under contract, and I never want to underestimate the difficulty in expanding your own company. Right? If you're capping at 3, 4, 5, 6 deals a month, and you want to get to 12, man, there's some serious mental shifts that we got to make to do that. Right? Yeah. So. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Do you think I might have been having trouble, or someone might have trouble because I was picking my own market? And I think I was trying to be too hands-on with it.
Yeah. That's a good point. And because I also coach and mentor people in the 10-hour wholesaler way. And when I work with seasoned people, I do the same thing. I make them stop their current existing business. And what I force them to do is say, we're going to find one person, and we're going to define this person as what I call an operations manager. And that person is going to be responsible for whatever deals you have pending right now. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to give them a cut.
Yeah.
Well, who is it, Justin? How about we go to a local real estate association? How about we call the agent that you already work with? Let's call people that you already know, like, and trust, and then have them do this. Now, you're only going to do this if you really want to be a 10-hour wholesaler, right? Like if you really want to do this business or add this to your existing business, that's the mental shift you got to take. So sure. First, the delegation part would be what I would recommend. And then you're right. When you pick a virtual market, dude, you're forced to do it my way, right?
You are.
Yeah.
And you're not forced to do it your way when you pick your own market.
Completely, man. And that's hard to do, when you're like, oh, I could swing by and take a look at the property and assess the repairs myself and put a lockbox on it and put bandit signs up. That's a problem, because now all of a sudden you're not doing the 10-hour wholesaler thing. And it's just,
you turn it into a 50-hour wholesaler.
You turn it into a 50-hour wholesaler. Yeah, look, to really simplify it, guys, it's leveraging OPI, other people's inventory. So what you need to be really good at is just two things. Building relationships with other wholesalers. Brian's another investor and a wholesaler. So, if you're brand new, do you have the courage to call Brian and just say, how can I add value to your life, Brian?
Yeah.
And then he's going to tell you, well, I got deals sometimes that I'd like to sell a little faster, or I'd like to make a little bit more money on those deals. So then what is your pitch as a 10-hour wholesaler? Well, I'm going to specifically spend all my time, energy, and resources finding the types of buyers that you need for your area. So for you, Brian, would you rather sell, like, this is the pitch I tell people, like, would you rather sell your, like, I don't know if you want to name a property you have under contract, but if you think of a recent deal, right, and think of the area that it's in, would you rather sell that to your top fix and flip guy, or would you rather sell that to a landlord or a retail cash investor? If you had a choice between two, who would you rather sell that property to?
I mean, it totally depends. It depends on a lot of factors. Because we're a cash flow market, we're clearly defined as we are selling a lot of properties to turnkey investors.
Okay.
So we will do that, and then we're also selling a lot to the fix and flip model. We're selling a lot to the fix and flip, but it is to define groups of people, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
So imagine this, right? So that's awesome. You're in a great market that you're already selling a lot to cash flow guys. But imagine this, like the fix and flip guys. See, that's a property that needs a lot of repairs, right? You're probably flipping the ones that need heavy repairs to those guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what if you had a couple landlord buyers that just want to add to their portfolio? So institutional, like micro hedge funds that have operational managers you're in Alabama, correct?
Yep.
So, like Tulip Enterprises out of New York, they buy through all of Southeast region. Like, what if you just had one connection with them and you sold to them, right? Instead of your fix and flip guy that must buy from you at 70 cents or 75 cents or maybe better, 65 cents on the dollar, which means Brian has to have that property contract for 50 cents on the dollar. So I came up with it like as the market was changing, things are warming up and inventory was getting lower. See, I used to get all the foreclosures. Like, I built one solid relationship and I have the relationship with the best REO broker in Central Florida. And so I was getting a lot of deals just sort of handed to me. So this also came out of a necessity. So when that all happened, right, at that local real estate investor association, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is another way to get inventory and to still add value into other people's lives. This is the market that we're going to take. So we did everything we could to find landlords and retail cash investors.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And you can do it all from your computer too.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. So I heard you say, I listened to Alex Pardo. He's a good buddy of mine. I listened to you on his show recently.
Awesome. He's an awesome guy, man.
Man, he's phenomenal. He and I share kind of a vision of just we have huge hearts. We want to try to give as much as we can. And I heard you say something on there that kind of it's essentially get to the 21st century here and start using your computer instead of getting out there. You don't have to go look at every property. You don't, even if you live in the area. Yeah.
Dude, this thing here is stronger than most people. I believe that most people give credit to. Again, right? Being forced to have necessity. That seems to be a recurring theme out of my life, right? It's also the reason I flipped my first deal, right? I was in such a bad condition, bad shape in 2008. I was forced into really taking this seriously. And then every time I've evolved in my businesses, it was because I saw something coming, and so I needed to change. And then, all from like 10-hour wholesaler and mobile wholesaling is very similar. But I was forced, I go to Central America often to surf and I bring the family there. I was forced to use my mobile phone to complete deals. And so when I was forced to do that, it made me learn things that I wouldn't have learned otherwise.
Yeah, and we hear Joe McCall talk about that a lot too. Joe McCall says, look, I want to hear first of all, let's define all the steps in making a deal. All right.
Yeah.
And if step one is this, the question becomes, how can we get someone else to do that for me?
Right.
and take each step, and how can someone else do that for me? How can someone else do that for me? And that's how he's been able to. I mean, he would go out of the country, like you were saying, for months and months at a time,
right,
and doing deals. So, Justin, you alluded to a second ago, you were in a bad place in 2008 or so, or you had some challenges. Tell us your story, man. Tell us your story. How did this come about? I know you said a REIA meeting, but how did you get to the point to where it was a necessity to do something like this?
Well, a necessity. Well, I got my beginning, just wholesaling, traditional wholesaling, and then I moved into fix and flip. But I was forced into it because in 2008 I had a yacht management company that was just really doing really well from 2004 to 8. And I was only, I started that company when I was, 21 years old, I think, 22 years old, and it actually started off as a car detailing business, and then evolved into yacht management because yachting and boating is a passion of mine. We live on the water and stuff here. So when the economy crashed, my biggest client crashed because they were the largest luxury condo developer in the world at the time. They had just got done buying 80% of the Grand Bahamas and had one of the world's largest luxury developments going on, or at least were starting to. And so when they tanked, I was, what we did, taking care of their yachts and cars, we were the first people to get axed. And we had an awesome relationship there, and people wanted to keep us as much as possible. But man, if anybody listening to this and yourself, if you recall those times when everybody's mindset was contraction, right? Just getting smaller and smaller, that's what everybody did. And it just got to the point where I was like, I got to figure out something. So then it led me to that late night, right? Google search. And it was a bit of an inspiration too, because, that guy, when I say that guy, it was the owner of that company, that large luxury condo development company. He inspired me subconsciously, and I didn't know it. I had seen the cult and the culture that he had created. He became this almost, locally this presidential or godlike figure to people. You drop his name, or if you say anything, it's like, oh my God, you know him, right? And I saw what he was able to do through real estate and the lives that he was able to change. And although it was a different market, that's a debate for a different day, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So when the economy crashed, that's when I started really learning how to do this real estate thing. And next thing I found myself flipping my first HUD property.
Gotcha. So, and then you said in the very beginning that this whole thing, the virtual wholesaler, the 10-hour wholesaler, it started in a down market, and it was designed to succeed in a down market. Explain that, and why is that?
Yeah. So, well, actually, it was more of in the peak. If you look like a bell curve, it was probably be more on the uptick. The 10-hour wholesaler is created more on the uptick.
Okay.
So, if you want to get detailed, and the uptick for me was at the bottom. See, I got my start real estate investing at the bottom. I was doing traditional flipping for a while before I thought of the 10-hour wholesaler.
Okay. I guess I heard you say that it was that this is designed. It was designed to even be good in a down market. Maybe I'm
No, I say it's good. Yeah, it's good in a down market and bad market because you're always leveraging OPI, and it's because you only have to worry about one thing, and that's that relationship, right?
Right. You're never going to get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. You're never going to get caught with debt or property.
Exactly. Or hey, this is my bread and butter. Like right now, things are cranking, and you might have one method. This almost sounds doomsday-ish or prophecy-ish, but you might have one method that's working really well right now for you in order to acquire properties in your market, right? So meaning your seller lead generation. But man, through my experience in life and through the people that I'm blessed to hang around these days, like other successful guys, I'm sure guys as well. But dude, that's just a guaranteed going to shut off one day. Like whatever that is, it's going to shut off. Yeah. And so that's just part of nature. So that's why when I say it's good in a down market, dude, as long as you know how to build relationships and really truly add value, not this whole, that's why when you said, hey, you're kind of like the middleman, I really dislike that term, to be completely candid, because there's nothing that irritates me more than hey, I just want to get in the middle of the deal and make money. It's like, no. Like you're not in the middle to capture money. You're, and I understand what you're saying when you say that, but you're there to add value. right? And however that is. So as long as you can build relationships and add value to other wholesalers, you're going to be good in down markets, and you're going to be good in up markets. Now, the inspiration came on that bell curve, man. When I got in at the bottom, and I'm getting deals handed to me hand over fist, and so I'm wholesaling them and I'm buying them, right? And I'm wholesaling them, I'm redeveloping them, I'm doing the whole gamut. And then as the economy gets better and more people start coming back in, those deals start drying up. But it really wasn't about the competition at all. It was more about the government regulating the type of inventory. You know this, right? Totally. Foreclosures, and how that game changed, owner occupants only, and then everything. It can go on and on. So as that game changed, I started seeing that happening. And my broker at the time was like, man, it's getting harder to do this kind of this thing. And so when that happened, at the local REIA, call it, an epiphany or, but everything happened perfectly at that moment, where I was like, like a light bulb. Maybe because subconsciously I was just sort of scanning myself, right, for more lead generation resources.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great story. I think that's awesome. And so now you're saying that your business model is, you're still doing that obviously, but now you've changed, you got an office, you're doing all this other stuff. What are you up to now, and why the shift?
Yeah, the shift, I'd said earlier in the call that, with the 3 kids, and I just don't travel as much as I used to, although we still do, but we keep it more domestic. So now we stay more in the Caribbean, and what we've done is we have this under 2-hour flight limit, right? That's what we do. Like with 3 kids, we're staying under 2 hours.
They must be young kids too.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
I totally get it.
4 and a 2-year-old and now a 1-month-old.
Yep. I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So you get it. So we're trying to keep the flight times smaller than normal. So, I and also, as I grow up, I do believe people change. And so, having an office with staff was never something I ever wanted. Like when I created the 10-hour wholesaler.
Yeah.
But I did want that starting about 2 hours ago. I'm sorry, 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago.
Yeah,
right before we got on, you made the decision.
Yeah, right. Like, you know what? I think I'm going to want that. No, but about 3 years ago. So then I got this office almost 3 years ago, and I took it over 2 years ago. And now I actually leased some space to the broker that I was just telling you about, so that they have an office on the beach. And it just became a dream of mine. So I also wanted to focus down, bring down the markets that we're in, and sort of all of the elements and things that we had, and start simplifying it into doing where this story began, which is developing. So I'm now working 2 projects that are going to be the biggest projects of my life. So it's exciting.
Yeah. So development. I mean, you're talking about going from leveraging other people's inventory to not being responsible for anything, to having an office, having staff, starting development projects. Now you have real overhead that costs real money.
Oh, yeah. I guess maybe it's a challenge. I always maybe call it ADHD, but I always want to be challenged, and I want things to be different. Maybe I just got tired of it too, on top of that.
No, that's cool, man. I think we all get to that point. I just recently started. I mean, you're talking about, I started a REIA.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, I never would have thought I would have started a REIA.
Right.
Why did I do? Why would I want to do that? I'm doing great wholesaling.
Yeah.
So
why do it? Yeah.
I just think it's just, we're trying to all, expand and see where we can go, get a new challenge and things like that. I think it's cool, man. I think it's awesome.
Awesome.
Tell people, Justin, thank you so much for coming on the show. Tell people how they could get a hold of you and if they wanted to kind of check out and see what you're up to.
So obviously you can find me at all the social media platforms at Justin, or at Wilmot Justin on Twitter is my Twitter handle, Facebook, Justin Wilmot. And check us out at 10hourwholesaler.com/presentation. And I also just created a new, what I call really a movement, and it's a coaching community that I call Freedom Moguls. And so it's the way that I just teach my lifestyle-driven way for real estate investing, right? So everything we've done, everything I've created has been driven towards lifestyle, right? Like what is it that you want to do? And here's the one principle why. I'll never forget this. I read in a self-development book at one point that doing something that Oh, now I'm going to totally murder it. You think I just said I'd never forget it, right? Doing what you love. All right, I'm going to murder it. So anyway, it's something about
all right.
Doing what you love is not always sustainable because your love will change if you're going to be completely honest. So what I said is, well, what do you love right now? Like, what do you imagine your life can be? For some people, that's like just spending more time with your family at home. And for some people, it could be backpacking through Europe, or it could be like me, taking your family and traveling and chasing some of the best surf in the world. Now build your business so that can truly become a reality for you. And that right there, my friend, you asked me earlier, what's the hardest thing for new people? That, man, like
it is
literally making that decision.
No, it really, it really is. Most people don't even get that. I think you said something earlier too, how you had all these goals and you hit them all. And then it was like, you didn't say now what, but that was my story where I had a clear goal and it was a high and lofty goal and I hit it in January. And now I was just searching, like, now what do I do? Now I'm just chasing money, and chasing money is not going to fulfill you. Right. It's a different game now. And you're in that place, right? I've been dude, it happens to us, man. Like, that's an interesting thing. Also, people don't, what's interesting, one of us needs to create something on how to deal with success and how to deal with money. We talk about how to make money, but how to deal with success is a whole nother issue. Well, it's not just how to deal with success. It's reaching all the goals. It's like now you don't have a purpose. Now you don't have a why. I had a why, but I accomplished it, and and now what? But I've had to recalibrate and really spend a lot of time. Like what you just got done saying is like, I hit all this, I did all that. Yep. Now I got little kids I love, and I got a wife, and I want to be able to support that. Now I need to stay where I am a little bit more. Yeah, man. So now let's try to find some other things that challenge us and try to find a new why and kind of recalibrate. It's cool. And that's cool, man. And you're in that time right now where you're just going to recalibrate and figure out what inspires you now. For sure. I'll tell you what, it's not going to be surfing. It's not going to be catching waves, man. I'll tell you what, when I was really little, I made a promise to myself. Obviously we're all going to die, but there's no way I'm going to die by getting eaten by a shark. You know why? Because I'm never going in the ocean. Ever. Can't happen. It will not happen. And I'm not gonna die by getting eaten by a bear either, because I'm not going to the woods and I'm not going camping. Just not doing it. Hey, man, to each his own, dude. To each their own, man. Glad you love it. Justin, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll put all how to contact Justin. We'll put that all in the show notes. Check it out. Any last words, man? Anything else you want to add before we go? Yeah, man, I always like to add or, end with just whatever inspiration comes to mind from whatever the call or this conversation has been, and going and judging by and sort of like thinking about what just happened here, that big think. For both people inspiring to do their first deal and for everybody that's seasoned, that big think, make it so that when you get up in the morning, you were honestly, truly, wholeheartedly, not faking it to yourself, but truly freaking jacked up and inspired. Allow yourself to take a little notepad, right, and write down what you want life to look like. Yeah, there you go, man. And write down what you want life to look like and go after building a business towards that. Because for me, I feel like a secret's being pulled. If you could be pulled towards it, we're going to be doing okay. So. Could not have said it better. Justin, thank you so much. Guys, if you enjoyed what you heard, go subscribe to our podcast, like us, rate us, review us. We love you guys so much. We'll see you next time. See you guys.